Yes, people. Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome to the debate show on a Friday evening. We're back, we're live. A lot has gone on today. I thought it was going to be a quiet day, man. I thought it's going to be a very, very quiet day, but a lot has happened today. A lot has happened. But before we do that, please, guys, make sure you smash the like button right now. First thing you do, hit that like button and make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, Charlie's channel, Trafford Tunnel Never a Foul, and Statman Base. All the links are in the description as well. We're going to have Danny on as well soon. He'll be here. He's just on his way. But Charlie, man, good to see you. Good to see you well, man. How are you recovering, mate?
No, big up, mate. Big up. I'm feeling a bit better now. Thank you, mate. I think that result on Monday as well sort of brightened my spirits a bit. And then I think we've been brought back to reality again with news in the week, the Martial injury.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit worried about tomorrow's game now because of Martial out. But
it's crazy,
let's see, mate. Let's see. I hope you're all good as well.
Absolutely. We got Statman Baines in the building. Statman, that man behind you could well be starting tomorrow. Crazy how football changes. How are you anyway?
I'm good. I'll be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't start.
Well, he might do the Elanga thing and do that thing again and look for energy. But big up to Statman. Obviously, we got Ty in today, Martial debate. So we thought, why not bring in Ty, the chairman, the leader, the co-founder of Martial? What are you telling me?
Big up, man. Love that intro, man. Do that every week. Yeah, man. It's good to be on. Obviously, Friday, getting everyone ready for the weekend. I had to jump on, man. Big up Baines, Charlie, every single time. And yourself, Saeed, man. Like I said, people always like the video. Make sure you subscribe in here. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gutted about the news. We've got to have a real conversation today. I get it. I love Martial. I have all this prop, but it's a real convo today. And Baines is smiling. When I messaged him earlier since Saeed asked me, he was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, man, big up.
Big up, man. Big up, Nate H says Martial FC in the mud, can't stay fit, banter. Before we talk about that, there's I'm just gonna bring up the Europa League draw. I haven't reacted to it or anything like that. I don't know if you guys have seen it. But United, what do you reckon of the group? Are you guys happy with that? What are you guys thinking of the draw?
No, let's put it out there. Let me just start off. There's no excuses for us not to go through in this group. I hear Sheriff beat Real Madrid last year in a one-off. I understand that. Real Sociedad, I think that can be a tricky game away from home. I watched them against Barcelona last week. They're probably unlucky in the first half not to be up. But if we're looking at that group, it's United and Sociedad that go through. If we don't go through that group, then there's big questions got to be asked. Short and simple, Saeed, man. No excuses.
Absolutely. Charlie, happy. Real Sociedad got David Silva. They lost Isaac. But yeah, not bad, man. Not bad group, is it?
Yeah, not bad. Like I'd hope that we take it seriously, try and win the first 4 games, get 12. I want to see us rotate, but I don't. What you've got to make sure you got to make sure that you give yourself a good start. So win the first 3 or 4 games, and then, well, hypothetically, try and win the first 3 or 4 games, and then obviously, give the likes of Iqbal, give the likes of Ahmad, whoever it might be, give those lads a chance if we can. That's the position we want to be in. I think that's a better approach rather than sort of dillying and dallying from the first game. Play your best team, try and get 9 or 10 points, and I think normally 10 points gets you through, doesn't it? When when you're in the group, so try and get 9, 10, 12 points, and then give the other lads a chance. But you've got to be. I hope Ten Hag approached it well. I'm sure he will. But yeah, as Ty said, shouldn't be any issues. But there's never a dull day at Manchester United Football Club.
Well, there you go.
You never quite know.
Exactly. Statman, what are you saying, man?
Come on, man. We should be top in that group, and no excuses.
Yeah.
I can't lie, man. I hate the Europa League, man. Especially the group stages. It just looks so boring. But I think the way this thing is,
until we get to the semi-finals, Statman, and trust me, you'll realize. I remember when we got to Celta Vigo game and the Anderlecht game, which I was there, and Ibrahimovic down his leg, like we were all.
Yeah, I was there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the later rounds, isn't it? But for now, come on, man, we should be going through. But I think the way this thing is, that team, that Cyprus team, I think that's managed by Neil Lennon.
Neil Lennon, yeah. So it might be added spice in that one. Yeah, absolutely, man. So now we should be doing bits in this group. Like I said, man. Big up to Ailin Tenno says, is Martial the new Phil Jones? You know what, man? It could well be, man. And big up to HK Music. Our fan base is strange. People actually happy one of our players is injured. And And then also, Nate said, this is a tough group. Sheriff are a good side. We got Danny in the building. Danny, how are you, brother? You good?
I'm good. That Ty Mac, that T Mac.
I'm there, man.
It's Ty. He's here. He's here.
What's good? What's good?
Big up, Danny, man.
What's good? What's good?
Let's go, man. Danny, I'll start off with you, man, with this Antony news, man. We put in a bid in today, and it's been straight rejected, bro. Straight away. They ain't messing around, man. Ajax, man. Their stance is clear. It's not for sale. And, you know, or they want more money. But I just look at it. I think it's more kind of a case of it's not for sale. But yeah, 90 million was a stretch in itself anyway, more than a stretch. But who's in the fault here? Ajax or Man United?
Nah, this is just transfer stuff. Nobody's at fault in that sense. You know what it is, though? I'm glad this has happened, innit? Yeah, you need to think about it. This is Ajax, Eredivisie. What's that? I know the Euro's not doing too. What's that? 75 million pounds?
Yeah.
So that's the same amount of money they got for De Ligt and De Jong.
Yeah.
And they're turning it down because they can't get a replacement. That's probably the real reason, right? It's so late in the window. They're like, it's not worth it because we're not going to be able to achieve our goals even with the money we have. Because they can't buy a 70 million pound player and put him on 20 grand. That's not Ajax. So it just highlights, listen, man, this is what Dortmund did to us 3 years ago when they gave a deadline, said bid now, because we're an organised football club and we sell players, we get replacements. We don't care how much money you talk about. If you don't buy him by I think it was, August? What was the date that Dortmund did? Whatever it was, we're not selling. That's what happened. And this highlights, listen, this is why Man United need new owners. How can you have a budget? First of all, this is where the problem really started, yeah? How can Man United need to know what De Jong costs before activating other deals? How can Man United in June have a budget of roughly 100 to 150 mil, but in August, the last week or so, it's 200 mil? What type of football club is this? What type of this is a bank. This ain't a football club. This is a bank, right? Looking at its finances. Okay, what can we finance? What can we do? Okay, maybe we sacrifice some profit. How much dividends can we take next year if we do this? Let's look at the credit facility. But we're not far. Whatever, man. Like when it comes to this transfer window, Saeed, I just have to laugh. I have to laugh. What football club increases their budget with a week to go in the... I don't want to swear in it. There might be kids watching. People might think, what football club does that? Listen, shout out to Nuruddin. I don't take Man United seriously, innit? I just have to laugh.
Yeah.
I can't take my own club seriously.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Nate says take that 90 million and go get Osimhen. His class. Charlie.
Right. Sorry to interject, but you asked Dan, and obviously I love Dan, love his views, very honest as well. You said to Dan, who's to blame, basically? That was your question, Man United or Ajax or whoever. I'm saying it's Manchester United. I'm sorry. It's Manchester United because at the end of the day, for me, this is not a situation where we've just sort of panicked because someone's broke their leg or something like that and we're like, we need a winger. We've wanted Antony for 3 or 4 months now. Now, the price was different, say, in May or June, if we just paid up and got the deal done. We dilly-dallied, hoping that they would come down in price, and that's not happened. We've done the same thing with De Jong. We've dilly-dallied all summer, and now the price has gone up, and now he doesn't even want to move. So I feel like Manchester United have not moved smart. Like Dan said, like at the end of the day, yes, they might be in for Ziyech. They weren't in for Ziyech at the start of the window, Ajax. They're just trying to scramble for someone now. If Ajax knew that their player was going, like they knew Martinez was going, let's not put under the radar right away. Martinez went, and who did they get? They went and got Calvin Bassey from Rangers, a left-footed centre-back. They had a replacement coming in, ready for pre-season, ready to rock and roll. Now, we're stuck in this predicament now of do we pay more or do we not? And despite having a release clause, which is Jack Grealish, and I'm talking about when he signed for Man City last year, that was 100 million, right? For me, overpriced. I don't care what anyone says, a good player in his own right, overpriced. However, clubs like Aston Villa, Ajax, Leipzig, whoever it is, right, they realize that these players are so important to their team. It's not what Ajax is worth, like Antony's worth. We would say 45, 50 million should get Antony, let's be honest. But no, Antony is worth so much to that Ajax team because for them, he's quite irreplaceable. They haven't been able to go in and get someone. If we had just paid this money, 60, 70 million in May or June, we're not having this conversation. He's had a full preseason and he's in. So for me, it's Manchester United again, moving incompetent. And now these teams know that we've got money. 2 weeks ago, Saeed, Arnautovic and Rabiot, What,
I know.
12 million and then a 15
And then
million?
Casemiro.
And now all of a sudden, Casemiro, and now you've got 90 million to pay on Antony. I'm sorry, these clubs are taking a piss out of our stupidness, and it's our fault. That's what I have to say.
Wait, Ty, hold on. Why didn't we bid in June?
Well,
I have no clue.
I did say this, but again,
I have no clue.
Again, like I said, Charlie, what I mean? Like I said, the negotiation team and what we've done, and obviously this ownership, whatnot, it's cost us now because now they've dilly-dallied around, and now we're having to play scrambler. How many days have we got left? About 6 days or something like that? Maybe less than that. 5 or 6 days. What would you do, Charlie, if you were now? Would you go and put in 100 million bid, or would you leave now?
Well, look, this football club doesn't. They just don't know what they're doing. We know how they operate. Like, they weren't obviously not expecting 2 defeats out of 2. Ten Hag wasn't probably expecting it. We probably didn't expect to lose the first 2 games, right? But even if we would have won those first 2 games, the majority of the fan base knows that we still needed a lot more players in. Even if he would have gone and thrashed Brighton 4-0, Brentford 4, we knew that we needed more players in. The issue is with the Glazers and the board, in my opinion, is that they are very reactionary. They don't have foresight. They don't foresee things. This is the issue. They're very reactionary. So for example, we get beat 4-0 by Brentford. All of a sudden, all the news comes out about, Casemiro, for example. Where's this all come from all summer? Where has this come from all summer? A completely different profile to Frankie de Jong. You couldn't probably get more of a polar opposite profile to Frankie de Jong and Casemiro. I mean, you do well to find such a different profile, right? And for me, I just don't think they have foresight. They don't know what they're doing. Antony's worth no more than a stretch £50 million at a stretch for me. I think there's much more value in the market, in my opinion. That somebody like Elise, even Pedro Neto would probably cost a similar amount to Antony, but I think he'd be better. I think he's a better player. I know Ten Hag wants Antony, and I'm happy for the club to back him with Antony, but there's got to be a moment where the club. I wouldn't mind if the club turned around to Ten Hag and said, "Oh, we don't want to spend this money. We don't want to spend this money. We'll look at the scouting and recruitment team. They've suggested these alternatives," and I'd be fine with that. I wouldn't have a problem with that, as long as it wasn't a money-saving exercise and we went after just Ziyech, for example, which wouldn't be acceptable. As long as we actually signed a similar profile that was a player that had enough quality to come straight in, I'd be happy. But the issue is we don't have foresight. We react to things. Like the Glazers thought Ollie was the man. That they didn't realise all the issues that were happening. They just don't understand football. They don't see things that are happening. Like, us fans call things out early on and they just don't see it. And then when it gets to the stage where it's hurting us, it's too late. It's too late, and they delay things. And it's way too late now. It's way too late. But we've got 6 days to go. And as the other lads have said, Ajax will not want to lose one of their best players a few days before the end of the window, and they've got the edge.
So.
The ball, Ajax have got all the. They've got all the. I don't know what the phrase is, but they've got the power. They've got all the power here. Obviously, Antony, I know, wants to leave, but it's a few days to go. Ajax don't want to sell. As Ziyech is, they're I think they're Ziyech's Chelsea have got a valuation of 40-odd million.
Yeah, I think it's that as well, Charlie.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen now. I don't think they'll pay that. So it's just a lack of planning side. It's a lack of planning. It's also stems from the failures, not getting rid of Lingard earlier, not getting rid of Mata earlier, Matic, Pogba, Bailly, Jones. All these players should have gone a long time ago, and they didn't. And this is why we're sort of suffering this summer as well. So yeah, it's just incompetence.
Absolutely. Chris say here, they rather keep Antony instead of getting the 90 million, spend 30 million on a replacement. It's no different than getting 60 million next season. Statman, where are you on this one? We spoke a bit off air. You were like, I'm tired of this, man. I couldn't care less what happens in it. Like, is that your kind of feeling now? But then we miss out because we've only got Sancho, Rashford, you know what I mean, on the wings, really. You know what I mean? Obviously, you've got Elanga, but not the quality maybe we want.
My thing was, I've always said I think the price is too much, innit? But at the same time, this is clearly Ten Hag's number one target on the right hand side in that forward areas, which is why I wanted Ten Hag to get him and the club to get him, because then there's no excuses really, innit? But at the same time, listen, if they're rejecting this bid, like Danny said, then they're struggling to get a replacement. Like, you can't blame Ajax, by the way. Like when you ask that question, United or Ajax, listen, you cannot blame Ajax at all in this situation. They have every right to ask for a high price.
Yep.
They're the selling club. That's their asset. We have no right. The player wants to leave clearly because he's not. I don't think he's playing on the weekend again. But listen, man, that's United's fault, isn't it? The money clearly. Let's be honest. We know the budget increased as soon as all the Glazers that stuff happened. It happens every single time. And it's just a continuation of the same rubbish, man. Let's be honest. Like if we lost against Liverpool, we probably would have been into 2 more players. That's how United are.
Yeah, it's very scattergun, isn't it, Danny? You know what I mean? It's very, very scattergun. And like I said, it's more damaging that it's Ten Hag's kind of man, innit? You know what I mean? Like I said, if it was more a club signing, they could probably look at some other alternatives because it's Ten Hag's man. Does that make it more, you know what I mean, like more of a blow if you miss out on this one?
For the team, yeah. For the football club, no, because side.
Of my throws.
I'm going to keep it real with you. I think they're meeting some legal obligations. I don't think this ain't scattergun. They didn't go for Antony in June because they had to find out what De Jong would cost. I remember Ducker and Whitwell saying that in June. Man United needs to know what De Jong would cost. The prices went up for the Ajax players. That's why we overpaid for Martinez. That's why we're having to overpay for Antony now. But let's not forget, Saeed, do you remember, and man, we're cheerleading this, so be consistent. When they said Ten Hag was interviewing Man United and Ornstein was alluding, because he didn't confirm it 100% with chest, but he alluded to the fact that Ten Hag has certain guarantees. I'm starting to wonder if Ten Hag did get those guarantees. Because let's really, really think about it, Saeed. Every single player he wanted in June, they've tried to agree a fee for or have agreed a fee for, right? They allegedly agreed a fee for Timber, but Timber rejected us. Obviously, Martinez, Ericsson, the fee for De Jong was agreed. It's just whatever. And they've bid 80 million, 75 million pounds for Antony. I think Ten Hag got his guarantees. Because another thing as well, the club said get Pau Torres. He said no Timber. They said get Pau Torres. He said no Martinez. Then I look at everything else. I think Ten Hag got guarantees. And that's why the football club are behaving the way they're behaving. That's the only explanation I can have.
But when you say guarantees, Dan, do you mean guarantees?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Getting them through the door, or guarantees as
No. Just it will give him final say over what he wants. Because think if the director of football says Pau Torres, and the manager says then that tells me Ten Hag had. And if you notice that the reports tie, it's Ten Hag convinced Joe Glazer. It's not John Murta convinced. Joe Glazer. It's not Ten Hag convinced John Murta it's direct.
But guarantees, Danny. Guarantees in your approach, though. What about your approach? Like, it's very, very reactive. You know what I mean? I get guarantees.
No. I'm just saying. That's why I said legally.
Oh, okay.
If Ten Hag quit and then tried to, let's say, I don't think this would happen, or I don't think there's a clause to sue, but let's just hypothetically say there was, just so you understand my point. If Ten Hag quit and tried to sue the football club, they could legally say, nah, bro, we bid £75 million. We put a witness on the stand who's a football expert. They'll tell you that's too much money for Antony. Barcelona, we agreed a fee for De Jong, and everybody else we actually got. We got Malacia, we got Ericsson, we agreed a fee for Timber. They've chased every single one of his targets this summer. They've done it in a messy way. I think that's because of the budget. But yeah, listen, I can't take this club seriously because it's like Charlie was saying. There's no foresight. There's no long-term planning, which happens when you appoint your manager on May the 5th, right? Everybody else had their targets in January. We got our targets in May. It's Man United Football Club in 2022, man. We need new owners. Simple as that.
Let me think, because if you look at this situation, like Bain said, right, which I do agree with, the money side of it, when people say, oh, do you know what, they cost so much money? I'm in that sense now, obviously. It's Ten Hag's first season. Go out and spend the money and back him with whoever he wants. And I understand that. And I'm in support of that as well, like Bain said. However, if you look at it today, 90 million or whatever it was that's been rejected, all of us are kind of in that split category of, there's better alternatives elsewhere, but this is Ten Hag's, main priority. Now, the only solution that we can come from this now is that there's 6 days left in the window. If we know 90 million ain't going to get him, we're probably going to have to bid, let's say 100 million in brackets, right? Now, if we go and do that, are you guys happy with that? Or do you think, no, we've actually sold ourselves here? Or you guys like, no, do you know what? We know what it's going to cost. It's 100 million. If he wants Antony, go and spend 100 million, even if we've had our pants pulled down. What are you man saying now? Because that's the only alternative we've got.
I think, what it comes down to me is the fact that now, have we got a choice? Have we got like a moment to kind of think now? That's the only situation now. And can we trust the board to think of alternatives quickly? I think Charlie talked about Neto. Wolves don't want to probably lose him when there's about 3 days left in the window. So again, it all comes down to timing, people. And
what would
timing
you
has
say?
been
So
wrong.
would you say that you'd rather go for alternative, or would you say no, pay the 100 million and get Antony then?
For me, I don't trust the board to find an alternative, so I just go pay the 100 million for Antony.
Yeah, same,
I know it
same.
sounds crazy, but you have to do it. What else are we supposed to do?
This is what I do, Dan. I ask these questions. This is what I do.
I'm going to contradict myself, innit? I'm going to contradict myself here, innit?
What are you going to say?
Anyone who follows me on Twitter. For once, Man United board, Joe Glazer, listen to Jorge Mendes. Yeah, he's offered you Pedro Neto. Go sign his client. Yeah, you're always signing the one Jorge Mendes client I want you to sign, and you're not going to sign him.
Yeah.
Listen, I'd rather pay 70 mil. I don't care what it is. I think Neto's better than Antony. I have to be honest. The Neto I saw before this injury, if he can get anywhere near that boy's a problem. He's a big problem.
But I think the problem with
it, he's Ten Hag's man. He's the right profile, knows the system. I wouldn't be mad at it if we got Antony. We'll do what we have to. But ultimately, we have to get the right player, right? If the manager is convinced that is the right player, cool. However, at the start of the week, I have to keep it real. I bit my tongue because I'm in Ten Hag, I trust in it, yeah? But we all know we needed a DM. Let's be real. When we heard it's Eriksen and De Jong, if that went to plan, we're all still saying we need a DM, right? We just don't want to back. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of happy we ended up with Casemiro. Yeah. So in this situation, if we can't get Antony and we end up with Neto, I'm not going to be mad at that either.
Big up to HK Music. Only way you get your guarantees if the player comes in. Faraday says the club is a joke. Every day a new drama. And I think HK Music, if you don't pay the money, it goes back to the Glazers' pockets. Charlie, man, you know what I mean? In terms of this now, Man United, the mess that they've caused now, what do you think will happen in the next 2 days? Do you reckon if we don't get a result to Southampton, they come in and just pay that 100 million, or do you reckon they go and move to other options?
Oh, it's difficult to predict this football club, really. Honestly, if you offered me Antony, if you offered me Dubravka, Antony, and Depay right now in the next 6 days, I'd probably bite your hand off for that, because I think that would be, compared to where we are now, I think that would be good. But I still think the right back area is a massive issue that needs sorting out. But nobody wants Wan-Bissaka. Well, I'm not saying that's a bit unfair. Palace, I think, maybe would like him, but maybe on loan, etc. Nobody wants to buy Aaron Wan-Bissaka. No. I think Eric Bailly went on loan as well, didn't he, with an option to buy or something like that. So the issue is these players that we want to get rid of, there's not many clubs that actually want to pay a fee and take them permanently. So that's the other issue. But yeah, I think we probably will end up signing Antony, but I agree with Danny. I think Pedro Neto would probably cost a similar amount, actually. But I think he'd be. I think he's probably a better player. Obviously, Premier League. He's played in the Premier League before, but I think he has signed a new contract. Actually, Neto. I think he's recently signed a new contract, so probably wouldn't happen until 2027 or something like that. So it probably wouldn't happen. But yeah, look, the only faith I've got is Erik ten Hag. That's the only faith I've got, because from what I saw against Liverpool, I know that this guy understands how to deal with different opponents. I think the first couple of games, okay, I didn't blame Ten Hag too much. He needs time to get used to it. But the way he set up against Liverpool with Elanga instead of Rashford on the wing in the first half, obviously he brought McTominay in, brought Malacia in, then he brought Martial on at half-time. More or less everything that Ten Hag did in that game was right. So that is the one man that I have faith in. I don't have much faith in many of the players because they haven't really shown us consistency, etc. I don't have faith in the club, but I do have faith in that man. So if we are to have a good season, we need Erik ten Hag and his coaching staff to really, that they're going to have to manage games very well, manage players very well, because we haven't got the quality or the numbers.
Absolutely. Guys, there's 600 of you watching. Please smash the like on the video. I think we only just got 100 likes, people. So let's get them likes up, people. So, and make sure you subscribe to everybody's channels. Link is in the description. But we have to move over to the pressing question of the video. Erik ten Hag says that Anthony Martial has an Achilles problem and is not available for the game at Southampton. I don't know whether he's going to be available after that. I think Ten Hag didn't give a date when he could return, but I start with you first of all. Can we rely on him? Is it a case of getting Depay in now, making sure we get some numbers in? You know what I mean? Because I just feel like every single time we're gonna get this man, and this is nothing against Martial. It's just it's one of them things that happens in football. You know what I mean? And he is injury prone.
I think the main thing is, listen, it's season 8 and you're asking if we can rely on him. The
Well,
answer should
yeah.
be no straight away then. Because
Yeah.
if we're having this conversation now, let's be honest, we know Martial, first 4 games, he's going to miss 3 of them. But the fact is, he came on against Liverpool and made a brilliant impact. That's
Yep.
the frustrating thing with Martial. Like, on his day he can perform, but when you're built of glass, there's no real point. But the thing is, like, any half-decent club would have got rid of Martial right now. But the problem is,
Yeah.
we're not that half-decent club. And we need Anthony Martial to stay fit. Because we know if Martial leaves, your only other option is a 37-year-old Ronaldo who also wants to leave. We need 2 strikers then. We're not getting 2 strikers. We need 1 striker right now, and we still have doubts if we're getting that striker. Like, our forward line's an absolute mess in that striker, like, number 9 area. But Martial, it don't surprise me, Nate. Don't surprise me.
Well, Tyrone, man, you know what I mean? I'm gonna put a question to you, man. Obviously, we were talking on our video yesterday, very optimistic of Martial and the fact that, you know, what he can provide. He's that glue in that middle, you know, and gives us a lot, you know, that maybe Ronaldo doesn't give us. Where are you on this? Because when I heard it, I was just like, I was almost just like, I'm tired of this, man. I'm just tired.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Do you know what? Like, I'm a big Martial fan. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. And his seventh, 8th year, like Bain said, he's played up front. He's played out on the left. People have been signed like Sanchez, Lukaku. Little things have happened. He's had a bumpy ride along the way. And this is the manager for me, other than Van Gaal, that I was going to get the best out of him. And like I always say, the best ability is your availability. And Anthony Martial is not giving us that, man. Like, he was in the training videos yesterday, and apparently he pulled up after and said that he couldn't train on, of course. So I'm stuck in between a rock and a hard place. And I think the annoying thing for me is that the ability is not questionable. Every time he's in this team, you see that everyone improves around him. He is the glue. He can hold it up. He is a complete forward for us right now in this system. But then if he's injured 3 of the 4 games, what does Ten Hag do? Like, because at the end of the day, we 100% need a striker. And I know people are a bit iffy with Memphis Depay, but at the end of the day, 28 years of age, he can sort of play that similar kind of role a little bit. And at 10 million, it's low risk. But for me and Anthony Martial, the big situation is that he's got 2 years left on his deal currently. So that's not next summer, summer 2024. Now, Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag are going to have a big decision to make before the end of the season. Because for me, this is not going to be the last of it, Saeed. It's not like I'm sitting here now and I'm being open about it. I'm not sitting here thinking Martial's back in 2 or 3 weeks and then that's it for the rest of the season. He's fully fit. We know we're going to get to December. We know we're going to get to March, and there's going to be something.
October, there's 10 games. October,
there's 10 games. You know what I mean? And an Achilles injury is not something you want to rush. You want to make sure that he's back fully. And I just feel like there's 2 or 3 more injuries to happen along the way this season. And if you're sitting here as a Man United fan, right, which is me included, a big Martial fan, I'm waiting for the Ten Hag press conference today saying Martial's fit, he's going to play. Every game, and everyone will probably admit this, every game that press conference, you're waiting for him just to say Martial's had a knock or, you know, he's not available. And I hate that feeling of not knowing if he's going to be fit for the next game. It's Manchester United. And I just feel like next summer, if this does carry on, we've got 1 year left to cash in. I do believe, and I'd hate to say it, not based off his ability, based off his availability, Manchester United need to let him go. And I hate to see it because it's hard to replace players like that who play like this sort of Benzema sort of style now in today's age. But Saeed, man, we can't rely on this, especially with Ronaldo 37. Let's be honest, Rashford, yes, he played okay against Liverpool, but why? High line, they was able to press. We're going to play a low block against Southampton. We're going to have to unlock them in different ways. And we don't have the squad depth for this. Martial, this is the year that we needed you. We sent you out on loan. You've come back. You've showed us in pre-season what you can do. And you know what? The person out of all of this I feel sorry for, Saeed, is actually Eric Ten Hag, because Ten Hag hasn't actually got every single player he wanted in. He still wants Antony, for example. But one player that fits his philosophy right now is Martial. If you actually look at the squad and take Martial out, how many of these players really fit his philosophy? You're actually picking a handful. He's basically making the best out of a bad bunch. And with Martial injured, it's not just a Martial injury. It's a Martial injury for Ten Hag. It's a big problem, bro. And honestly, come next summer, we've got a big discussion to have about this player, man.
You You know what, Charlie? I think even Ten Hag might be kind of tired of this situation. You know what I mean, and whatnot.
He will
Is
grow
not-
tired. I was chatting with my boy about this today. If it carries on, he's going to run out of patience, man.
Yeah, well, there you go, then, isn't it, Charlie? I mean, now we could possibly play Ronaldo up front, but then he needs to build momentum, and it didn't work well against was it Brentford? Yeah, Brentford as well. Where are you on this with Martial now? Is it a case of he could come back Leicester, or is there not a sign when he comes back?
Well, again, it's a lack of planning. Cavani left the club. We all knew he was probably going to leave the club. We didn't. We still haven't replaced Cavani. Number 11 as well is not probably going to play for us ever again. We haven't replaced him. So there's 2 attacking players we haven't replaced. Martial's. You can't rely on Martial, and I've said this. You all know I like Martial a lot in terms of his ability. You also can't rely on Martial. So you ideally, before you've even thought about like adding to the squad, you need to replace 3 players. Martial, because you can't rely on him, and 2 that have left or not playing, etc. And then, even when you bring those in, you've got to look at the squad and think we might actually need to add another. Is Elanga good enough? Is Ahmad good enough, etc. So if you actually look at the attacking areas, we need, ideally, I'd say, if I look at the quality, we probably need 3 or even 4 players in that position.
Really?
Obviously, not all this summer, but I said if Ronaldo leaves, we'll need 3. Even if Ronaldo stays, I think we need at least 2. And yeah, Martial, I've said, I like him a lot. I think he's our only attacking. I think when he's not in that attack, I think we lack a lot of balance, especially when Ronaldo's there. I think tomorrow, if we start Rashford, Ronaldo, and Bruno, I worry for us. I worry for us a lot. I think if Ronaldo plays, you've got to play Elanga. You've got to play Elanga, Ronaldo, and Sancho. I just think there's too much directness if Rashford and Ronaldo are together, and Bruno as well. So yeah, I think for this sort of game tomorrow, I think Martial would have been key for us. You can't rely on him in terms of his injuries. So we're obviously going to have to sign in the next few days. We need to sign a new player in that sort of striker area. But it's just frustrating. Again, lack of foresight again. Sasa Kalajdzic is available for 20 million euros. He's actually not got a great injury record himself, but still, you're adding another player to the squad. He's 6'7" or something like that. Ten Hag wants sort of a target man striker. He's got good link-up play, good hold-up play. Why not go and buy him for 20 million euros, 15 million pounds? If it doesn't work out, oh well, resell him for 10 million. You know what I mean? It's
I think Wolves are after him, aren't they? Wolves are about to start.
But it's just frustrating, man, because if you understand football and if you think about football, you know that if you take Martial out, the balance of our team is really, really bad with Bruno, Rashford, and Ronaldo all playing. So that's what makes me worry for tomorrow's game now.
100% worried.
I hope that Ten Hag plays one of Rashford or Ronaldo and not both. Because if you play just Ronaldo, you need 2 more creative players. You need 2 less selfish players next to him. And if you play Rashford needs a striker. If he's on the left, he needs a striker that can drop into pockets and allow that space in behind. If you play Rashford and Ronaldo and Bruno, I worry. For this particular game as well against Southampton, I do worry. Against certain teams, it could work, but we need to be more. I think we're going to have more of the ball tomorrow. We need to be better, more secure in possession. And with Rashford, Ronaldo, and look, I could be proved wrong. They can work time to time. It will work sometimes, but the majority of time, the balance in that team will be wrong when you've got Rashford, Bruno, and Ronaldo all in the team at once. The balance just isn't right there.
Danny, man, you seem tired of this situation, man. You know what I mean? I can see
No,
your
it's
facial
funny. You kept
expression.
mentioning the same 3 players. You need to add Eriksen to that list. That's why you can't not add Eriksen. Eriksen's direct. He does the same things.
Yeah, he is.
He's prettier and better technically and a
But
better
Eriksen,
decision.
he's been playing more as an 8, so I'm on about more.
But in terms of directness, his attacking actions are identical to Bruno's. He's just better.
I see that. I think
but I'll be quick on it. He seems to prefer Eriksen over Donny. So it's even a bit. I'm just piggybacking on what you're saying, Charlie. It's a bigger problem when you add Eriksen to the mix, who's likely going to start as well. If you have Rashford, Bruno, and Ronaldo playing. Listen, Saeed, man, I'm turning into Nuruddin. Man United need new owners. Yeah, I just listened to that whole segment from Ty and Charlie, everything ties back to who we're owned by. If you want to get rid of Martial, the football club, has to take a loss on that player and those wages because nobody else is going to pay them. With our owners, we're never going to take that loss. Martial was 19 when he signed. He's damn near going to be 28 soon. Zlatan, Lukaku, Agallo. That's what Man United did as a stopgap. Cavani, Ronaldo. How many strikers over 30? How many pensioners?
You're even
Ronaldo,
forgetting Falcao back at the start, man.
Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah.
This come on, Simon.
Igalo.
Listen, one thing, I didn't agree with this at the time, but when I thought about it, when I looked at, if you remember, Dybala was the crown jewel in that Juve team. It's one of the reasons why they sold Pogba to Juve, and it's going to be Dybala. Once Juventus realised Dybala's not going to be as good as we thought he was, they started just moving away from him and trying to build a team differently. They've got it wrong, but that's what a top team does. You look at Real Madrid. Asensio came through years ago. He's been injured. He's come back. That team's moved on from him. It's moved on. Here we are, Man United 2022, and I'm like, fuck, Martial got injured. In 2022. Why am I?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be disappointed Martial's injured. This is a player we should have sold.
Yeah, that's the key. He's now turned into the important player when really he was meant to be gone 12 months ago.
Yeah, and it's not because, like Ty said, because of ability. I think it's because injuries, motivation, and just if a player doesn't hit his full potential by 26, 27, we're Man United Football Club. How long are we supposed to wait for a guy to hit his full potential? It's the same with Rashford and a few other men. Like, Said, if we don't move players on...
Yeah, it's true.
And by the way, those guys who left this summer, who I think Charlie or Ty mentioned, the Lingards, the Matic, I think it was Charlie before, a few questions ago, those men only left because of free contracts, Charlie.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They'd still be here. I promise you, on my life, they would still be here. We need new owners.
Glazonomics, man.
Do you know what the trickiest thing as well, where we're really stuck right now, and on this Martial thing is that because what he's done in pre-season, right, and because his impact against Liverpool, and we've seen what we're like without him, all of a sudden, we're like, Martial's the glue, which is not his fault. He's come back, and we're all of a sudden like, oh my God, this is what he does for Ten Hag. Now, Ten Hag's stuck because he's so important for Ten Hag now. Like you said earlier, I think, Said, your first question to one of us was, when do we bring him back? Do we bring him back for the Leicester game? For me, this is one of them injuries which you have to manage so carefully. It's the Achilles. This is not his thigh, it's not his groin, Achilles. He probably done it off contact. If we rush him back, we're then at risk of him getting injured again. But then if Manchester United drop points to Southampton, we then drop points to Leicester, for example. We've got Arsenal 3 days later, because don't forget, this is a midweek game this week. We've got 3 games in 8 days, effectively, you could say. If Ten Hag's saying, I hope he's back and, he's 75 or 80%, he might be in that position where he's like, I want to risk him and play him, but we can't. And this is where these other players now need to stand up and be counted, because this is an injury we cannot risk. I would rather Martial, for me, I know it's hypothetical, I'd rather Martial be back after the Arsenal game and stay fit for 2 months than risk him, bring him back for Leicester or Arsenal, and oh my God, Martial's had a knock or he's not recovered as expected, and we're back to square one sitting here saying, Martial's injured again. This is the risk.
It's a big dilemma for the manager, I'm just more looking at it for the manager.
That's it. Yeah. Because he's just because he's so important to the system.
Statman, what do then now? Is it a case of now Ronaldo now? He kind of like forces his hands into playing Ronaldo when he doesn't really want to. Do we reckon we'll see that from Ten Hag? Because I feel like Liverpool game was Liverpool Southampton. You could probably get away with playing Ronaldo. But if it affects the system, then what do you do then as a manager? You know what I mean? Like, it's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky one.
Don't really matter. Ronaldo wants to leave anyway.
No, but nobody wants him, though. Nobody wants him.
No, but realistically, in my eyes, I still said I think he leaves at this point, innit? But no matter what, we're playing a player that wants to leave. Or your other option is bringing in Antony who knows him probably not good enough. Like, no matter what we do, we're just in such a bad position as a club in our forward areas. I don't think anyone can deny that. I've seen people say Rashford up top. Let's be honest, Rashford's nothing special up top, man.
Exactly.
He's a poor striker. And then what are we left with then? Literally no one. Because we can't rely on Martial. Ronaldo wants to leave and then Rashford's not good enough.
And we've tried the false nine, failed.
Exactly. And we can't play that. We're not good enough to play a false nine. Like,
And the thing is,
I don't know, man.
Listen, don't get it twisted. I can see Eriksen spamming the ball, Ronaldo get on the end of it. That can happen. Yeah. And no, against low blocks, sometimes it's just a quality cross that you need, and Eriksen can deliver.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just not sustainable, though, isn't it? That's the issue.
And you know what, guys?
Another good wait, just quickly, yeah.
Yeah, go on. Go on.
Another thing that we see, yeah, you see with Martial, and I think Hard said this in the group chat with me and Ty. Martial shouldn't be a glue in his side. Remember what we kept saying on the Eric Ten Hag, that no, there shouldn't be like one player that we should build around kind of thing, innit?
Yeah, that's true.
He shouldn't be that guy.
Baines, that
And
shows
that's
you
not
the
Martial's
quality
fault,
of
by the way.
That shows you the quality of this squad, though.
Yeah, no, but that's not Martial's fault, by the way. That's
It's
just
not. That's
poor
what I said. That's what I said. It's not his fault.
recruitment and stuff.
Yeah,
that we're so reliant on one player. We shouldn't
But
be
that's
like that.
because though, you don't have a group of players who can do what the coach wants. He's really got. I don't care what. I didn't see the Liverpool game, but I see man tweeting about Varane. He's got one centre back he can rely on to be top quality with the football, right? Only one in Martinez. Yeah, Dallo. I'm already seeing Dallo. I don't know. I feel like he's got potential with Ten Hag, but I don't know. If you know how Ten Hag played with the most recent Ajax team, that's why I don't think Casemiro's a scattergun or wrong profile. If you know how that Ajax team played, you know how it was able to get around having an Alvarez/Casemiro as a DM. It's with a fullback who can pass forward and Daily Blind. It's with Timber who can drive with the ball. It's with Martinez who can spray passes around. Ten Hag don't have that. He don't have a 6 who can get it. Yeah, he doesn't. He's only got one. He's only got one creative winger in Sancho, and up top you got poachers. Rashford is a striker, like Statman said, is a poor striker. He's basically a B-Tech Filippo Inzaghi as a striker if he plays there. And Ronaldo's maybe actually no. Rashford's a GCSE level Filippo Inzaghi. Ronaldo's an A level Filippo Inzaghi at this age that he's at. Yeah, we need to get levels right in it. So the manager, I feel sorry for him, innit? I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, same.
He doesn't have the tools. He doesn't have the tools to get past basic level. If this was a computer game, Ten Hag is stuck on beginner and he can't get no coins to go to the next level.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. What were you going to say, Charlie? You were going to say something before.
No, I was just going to say, I think one thing that we did very, very well against Liverpool was just the basics, right? Just the basics of football. Like, we shouldn't come off, we shouldn't be talking after a Man United game. We shouldn't be saying, oh, we worked really, really hard today. The attitude was brilliant. We shouldn't be saying that because that's what should happen every week. That's what happens in Sunday League. You know, we've probably all played some sort of Sunday League football or any sport at a very, very basic level. Every time I went on that pitch at that very basic level, I just made sure I gave everything for my team. That's just the basic.
Were you a fullback, Charlie? You look like a fullback.
No, winger. I was like a Juan Mata type player. Juan Mata type.
Hey, man, like, hey.
I was gonna say, if you're a lefty, I was gonna call you Damien Duff.
Yeah. I thought you were Frankie de Jong, man. Everyone keeps calling you Frankie de Jong.
Oh no, I know. I wish I was. I wish I had contact with him, but yeah, I think bringing Casemiro in though, that will give us hopefully one player doesn't change everything, right?
Yeah.
However, we need to, as a team, we need to be able to score less goals to win games, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Particularly under Ranić, I think it happened towards the end of Ollie's reign, but particularly under Ranić, within half an hour, 40 minutes of games, we were out the game. We were out the game. 2-3-0 down or even 1-0 down and just not in the game at all. If we can keep more clean sheets, be more solid, although I don't rate Elanga that much, if you play without Martial, if you play with Elanga and Sancho out wide, you've got two wide players who you know are better, their awareness is better defensively, they'll protect the fullbacks better. Elanga's not going to give you too much against a low block, but he won't, a bit like Dan James, he won't give you too much negative in terms of defensively. He's not going to leave the fullback isolated. And when we saw against Liverpool, you know, Malacia and Dallo played well individually, but also they had the support in front of them, right? So if we work better defensively and off the ball, we won't need to score. We won't need to score as many goals to win games. As simple as that is. That's how football works. You know, Manchester City last week conceded 3 goals against Newcastle, 3-3. You know, Liverpool at the moment conceding 2 goals against Fulham. You know,
what would you take, Charlie? Would you rather be a team that's not scoring many goals but keeping clean sheet? Does the fan base want goals and excitement, or would you rather be? Because I feel like the last 7 games away from home, we've lost all 7 games. I think for me, we go away, we sit back, we hit teams on the counter, and we go with a 1-0, 2-0, and we become that team that is efficient. I don't know.
But we haven't got to hit teams on the. You don't have to play a low block. You can play a mid. You can even play a high press. You can even press really, really high and be aggressive. You just got to be more compact and have improve the balance of the team. When Ranić came in, some games he was moving Pogba and Bruno into defensive midfield in the 4-2-2. Like, the balance was just all wrong.
That was crazy, that game.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's just the basics. If we go to Southampton tomorrow, we all know if we concede the first goal, we know what these players are like. The heads drop, we lose the game. If you keep it tight the first we can't go all guns blazing. We haven't got the right. Casemiro gives us a bit more of ability to do that, but we can't do it with the players we've got. So if you keep things a bit tighter the first 20, 30 minutes, build your way into the game, make sure you don't go 1-2, 3-0 down too early, and you can build from there. It's just the basics, really. That's just, I want to see us a bit more disciplined, a bit more streetwise, and I think Casemiro will bring that.
Do you know what? Yeah, and it's funny because me and Said were talking about it in yesterday's show, right? But in terms of the basics being done right, Charlie, I completely agree with you. I get it. Like, we needed a response. Manchester United's home game against Liverpool. And I said it to Said yesterday. I feel like every new manager across every club, every format needs that moment of, I'm here now. You know, Ten Hag made the changes against Liverpool. We got the result. You know, everything about that day on Monday night was like Ten Hag's moment. The players can trust in him. However, we go to Southampton tomorrow, right? 12:30 game. We've not got a great record there anyway. I think I remember Cavani scoring when we come back in the last minute. We had the year with Martial, and then I think there's another year there, but we haven't got a great record.
Yep.
Now, for me, Charlie, that game on Monday was more played off emotion rather than ability. And this is where I'm going into tomorrow with question marks, especially with the Martial injury anyway. But away from that, it's emotion. The fans were giving it. We were giving it. Martinez shoved Salah. You know, Malacia's chasing down a ball that's going for a corner and kicking out for a throw-in. These are all happening at Old Trafford. So for me, that game on Monday was based off emotion. Tomorrow is the real test. Can they back it up? Can they do these basics away to St. Mary's when they've just beaten Leicester? Can we keep a clean sheet, like you said, for the first 20 minutes and then build our way into a game? This is why I'm kind of cautiously nervous about tomorrow, because I do believe that the players have got to show it again. And Charlie, time and time again over these last years, we've seen them not do it. Now, I'm not saying they can't do it. It's a new manager. They've got their big first win. But can they? And that's what I need to see, if they can put that effort from Monday into the basics again on Saturday. And that's tomorrow.
No, that's... And you know what, Ty? You know, if you look at the triangle between the two centre-backs and Casemiro, if Varane's... This is another thing. Varane, he needs to be managed very well as well.
I know. That's another one.
You might prove me wrong, but he can't play, in my opinion. He can't play against Southampton, Leicester and Arsenal. I think he'll get injured if he does that. So Ten Hag is going to have to make a decision. It might even be tomorrow he brings Maguire back in. I don't know. But you are going to have to bring Maguire or Lindelof in, probably for Varane. But that spine of Varane, Martinez and Casemiro, that triangle, when they all play, I think that could be something to build with. I really do.
Hopefully so, man.
But
let's hope.
You can't rely on Varane with injuries. That's the issue. But when they play, solid.
Absolutely solid. Let's by the way, there's over 700 of you in the chat, people. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Let's try and get the likes up to 350.
Come on, man. Smash that like. The fun costs nothing. Half a second. Smash that like button. Big up Saeed, man. And let's get him to 60k. Come on, you guys, man. Friday content. You know what it is.
Come on, man. Big up to you. But right, let's agree. What formation do you want to play, guys? Danny, I'll start off with you. What do you want to see?
Yeah, what's this? What's this?
Man goes, what's this? Man put
this is a 4-2.
a FIFA thing together.
Listen. We spoke about this before, Said. First of all, can you change that to a 3-1-6?
3-1-6? No, I don't think so. Oh, you want to change it?
You know that's customized settings. You're trying to make Said work hard, you know.
Bro,
so what do you want to do?
I'm playing.
Okay, cool.
You know, Ten Hag don't respect
4-3-3. That's my hand. If I had to vote 4-3-3, that's what.
The same what we're gonna do on paper, obviously. It don't really. It don't matter. I'll be honest with you. Casemiro will be in there, but it's still gonna be the 3-1-6 team. I don't think man understanding it. Ten Hag's not going to change what he's trying to achieve in it. So yeah, it could be 4-3-3 on paper. Don't really mean anything.
Yeah. It could be. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna assume that David De Gea is in goal. I think we do need another keeper, though. I'll be honest with you. Only 2 keepers at the club in terms of.
Can I just throw this in though quickly because I wanted to say to Charlie, yeah, like, do we forget the problems that Southampton calls us every single year with this team?
Exactly.
Yeah. I know.
Just consider that when you're picking this lineup.
I was just saying that, Dan. Our record there is not great, man.
They press us.
Great.
First half an hour, we're going to struggle. We're not going to be able. We might not be able to play out from the back. Do you think he's going to go long again, Charlie? Do you think he's going to go long again like he did against Liverpool?
Well, I said this on my show yesterday. That's what I thought about. But I thought if you play Martial, that gives you a bit more of a better. That gives you the hold-up playability. Martial a little bit better. But if you play Ronaldo, he's okay in the air, but his hold-up play is not great. Obviously, if you play Rashford, you can't really do that. But Carl, we targeted Trent's channel against Liverpool with the long balls.
Yeah.
Carl Walker-Peters is quite a small profile as well. So I don't know whether he'll go try and target that left channel again. But I wouldn't be surprised if we did that at least for the first half an hour.
Do we keep our back four the same? Malacia, Varane, Martinez,
100%.
and Dello? Yeah.
100%.
Start what you reckon? Keep it, yeah?
Yeah. I think Varane will probably get arrested against Leicester then because we need him.
I agree, yeah.
We need him. 100%. Malacia, man, I can't lie, man. I'm gassed about this kid, man. You know what I mean? Like, he's tenacious.
I told you.
Yeah. And look at this, man. We have Casemiro.
That's nice to see, man. That's a good plus for this week. I can't lie. That looks nice, man.
Only take
do it.
Yes.
This is the big one. This is the big one, guys. I want each one of you. I want you to give me your front middle 3. So Charlie, you go first. No, actually, I'll go first. I'm gonna put Fred, Casemiro, and Eriksen. That's my midfield 3. Charlie, and then we'll go down.
I think it'd be Eriksen and Bruno.
Okay. Start, man.
I'm with Charlie. I think it'll be Eriksen and Bruno.
Ty.
I think it'll be Fred and Bruno.
Danny.
I'm with Ty, I think it's going to be Fred and Bruno.
Why isn't Bruno been dropped, man? I'll be honest with you, man. Bruno's performances are not great, but again, he keeps his position. Is it just because
Bruno's not doing anything?
That's what I'm saying.
It's not even old Bruno. Like, he's not doing. I don't think he's doing anything bad or anything good. He's just not doing anything.
It's just his work rate is very, very good. His work rate.
Work rate. That's all.
Like, even though he gets a bit, I know he annoys me sometimes, but what he does give you is if you like the ability to press when we pressed Liverpool almost in a 4-2-4 at times, like Bruno with Rashford as part of the front 2 pressing. Like, that's what Bruno gives you. So I think that's
no one. What happened to Free Donny? What happened? Get the comments.
I can't lie, man. It's one of them, man.
He isn't cut, Danny. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
Sorry.
Donny, where are you, man, gone?
He tried, man. He tried in pre-season, and
now isn't the time, man. Now is not the time.
Yeah,
now is not the time.
Right,
we've been outnumbered.
Like shout though, I really do think Fred needs to play now. I know people have their question marks about him, but I'll throw that one game out there when Michael Carrick came in as interim, played him more as the advanced 8 against Villarreal. He was able to press, use his energy, and also I'll be honest with you, in terms of a number 8 that's more rounded, in terms of can help Casemiro and trap back and have mobility in there. Fred away at Southampton, 12:30 kickoff, it works. I'm not trying to say that Fred will start every game, guys, but we're talking about fixture by fixture. Casemiro and Fred together, I think that suits Southampton away. And Bruno plays. Why? He was given the captaincy armband. He is a bit more, the big name in that Manchester United side. I think if you drop Maguire and then drop your second captain in Bruno, there might be a few question marks. So, like I said at the start of the season, Saeed, Maguire played himself out the side. Luke Shaw played himself out the side. If Bruno's going to get dropped, it's by him playing himself out the side. So I think Fred, Casemiro, and Bruno is the way to go tomorrow.
Can I just add to that? I think Casemiro will make Fred better.
Yeah.
This Fred tackling is a myth, isn't it? Casemiro can actually tackle. It's those little things, isn't it? Like, Casemiro will, the same way Varane, I'm sure people have noticed in one game, because Martinez is so predictably aggressive.
Of course.
That works for Varane. It works for him.
Yep.
You're going to see Fred do something stupid, Watch how quickly Casemiro's there to mop it up because he's going to be able to predict what Fred's going to do. Watch Fred back up Casemiro and go 2v1 certain man and bully man. Right? So I agree with Ty on that. I think it's going to be Fred and Bruno, but this lineup's cool though.
Yeah. Obviously, Rashford's going to be on the left, I'm presuming, and then I'm guessing Sancho on the right, and then it's a case of Elanga or Ronaldo. I know it sounds crazy, but what do you reckon he does, Elanga or Ronaldo?
Elanga. I'll tell you why. If he wants to, I tell you why. No, there's only one reason. Listen, I didn't even agree with Charlie's thing about Elanga being good defensively. Elanga doesn't mind pressing. There's a lot of goals we concede where Elanga's letting the fullback run on him. He's actually not as good defensively as people say he is. Good at pressing, concentration, tracking, marking, not so good. But if Ten Hag wants to carry on what he did versus Liverpool, you start Elanga up front. You start Ronaldo, and for any reason he does not want to press, doesn't press the way Ten Hag wants. You know this team, it's a snowball effect. What type of team, if one man's not doing something, it affects everybody else. This team can't carry passengers, and I'm not trying to disrespect Ronaldo in that way. I'm just saying, that Ty said, it was an emotional game, right?
Yeah.
We're coming off the Liverpool game. So the first 15 minutes for these group of players who are these players are fragile, man.
I know.
If there's a deflected goal, just not even a mistake, just deflected, it comes off, Varane goes in, these men will crumble.
Mentality-wise, they're so bad.
And also, do you know what? If you start Ronaldo as well, or should I call him Christine? If we start Christine up front and it doesn't quite work out, you're then looking to the bench in a game where you might be chasing it at 1, or you need something a bit different to give you the goal. I'll be honest with you, we haven't got that option other than Ronaldo. So for me, I agree with Danny in terms of pressing, having that energy, getting through that first 20 minutes, maybe hitting them on a break and maybe us scoring first.
So Danny said Elanga.
Back off that. I was just going to end on this. I don't expect Elanga to finish the game. But
Yeah,
you want to survive that first 30 minutes at St. Mary.
Wow, look at this one. Look where we've come to, man.
Yeah,
surviving an onslaught.
Saeed, it's a big thing. You look where it comes. It shows that Cristiano Ronaldo, as much as he's a great player, and I never disrespect him right now. I love him, what he's done for us, but it shows that the time. Baines, I'm sorry, Baines.
This guy's the biggest liar, by the way.
Baines, it's happening. No, I'm not the biggest liar. It's happening. At the end of the day, it shows that we are moving on. And the way Ronaldo's body can't do what his brain wants. That's all it is. At the end of the day, you're 37, you're 38. He's like a heavyweight boxer who's still trying to carry on fighting because he's still that big name. But for Man United, we need more.
Okay, you said Elanga then.
Yeah, I'll say Elanga. Man
United, go on.
Say 1 point, so I'll try and make it quick, so I know it's an hour. With Ronaldo, right, if you put him in another team, he's there to score goals and he'll get chances at a top side. When you're Manchester United, where we are right now, battling for 6th, 5th, 4th, whatever you call it, Manchester United need a team of 11 that work all together. You can't have one that just says, I put the ball in the back of the net. We don't have that luxury of having Erling Haaland, who's at City, and he can be a bad game, but he's going to get chances. We don't have that luxury. That's why we need teams that are going to work together. And Martial and Elanga, unfortunately for the team, give us that. And Ronaldo doesn't. And that's just do a pass and parcel, man.
Facts. So, okay, then I'm going to say play.
I think Rashford up top, though. Not Elanga down the middle.
I'm going to go Rashford up top, Elanga on the left.
Yeah, that's what
are you going to go for? What are you going to go for, Statman?
Well, I said it the other day, like, you're pretty much keeping the same team. You finally got a victory. Elanga plays, Rashford up top.
What do you reckon, Charlie?
Elanga's got to play on the left. Look, Rashford isn't a 9, but you need Elanga on the... I know what Danny says about Elanga. I think he made a couple of mistakes. He is prone to a few errors as well, giving the ball away. I think he gave the ball away for a goal last season. But from what I saw from Elanga in terms of his positioning defensively, against Liverpool, against Trent Alexander-Arnold, I thought he was quite disciplined, and he has got some discipline in Elanga, and Rashford doesn't give you that. So but I understand Fred as well. I understand the calls for Fred, by the way. Like
of course.
I understand the calls for Fred, but I think Fred, like, it sort of counteracts himself. You bring Fred on, like, get a bit more combativeness, but then he gives the ball away. I put a bit more control in there. That's why I'd say Eriksen, but. I understand. I think it's a possibility for Fred. It is a possibility.
Right then, let's go and give our predictions in. Still over 700 of you guys in the building. Make sure you guys get the likes up, man. Let's get it to 350 likes, people. I'm gonna go for the fact that Martial's out now. I think I'm gonna go for 2-1 United. I went for 3-1 when Martial was playing. I went for 2-1 United just to nick it. I just got this feeling we're gonna nick it now. Charlie, give me your prediction. Let us know in the chat as well.
I said 3-2 yesterday. But because of the news, the way it changes, I'm going to go for 2-2. I'll go for 2-2.
Wow. Statman.
No, I'm with you. I'm getting 2-1. Listen, man.
2-1.
Southampton, we better not be losing or drawing.
Yep. Listen, it is what it is, man. Tyrone, let me know what you're thinking.
1-1 draw.
Wow. Damn. We were feeling confident yesterday, man.
Oh, bro. Reality's gonna strike tomorrow, man. 2:15. We're gonna be cussing, saying, "Oh, look, Chelsea are gonna win at 3:00."
No lie, you see, we're tired. Tired wants United to lose, by the way.
What? So, wait. Don't do that. Don't ever. No, okay, we can joke off street, but don't ever say that, man. Bro,
interesting, yeah.
Bro, do not ever say that. Don't ever say about me wanting to make. I love this.
I'm coming for you tomorrow in the group chat.
Don't try and trigger me on Saeed's channel like that, man. So you,
I
need to turn into roadman tie there. You got me pissed there. Don't.
I'm coming for you, Ty, tomorrow, yeah?
Man said I want Man United to lose just because Martial's injured. No.
We saw it in the group chat today, Ty. That's all I'm saying.
Statman is trolling, man. Statman is trolling. Danny, give me your prediction.
Hey, listen, I love rattling, Ty.
Southampton away 2-2.
Who said win, by the way, then out of all of us? We said draw, me and
me. I got 2-1.
I said 2-2.
Wow, we've got draws all over the place, apart from Saeed and Statman.
Well, you think I trust this team? Listen, shout out to Nuruddin. He's not here. He's hearing spirit through me. Wait and CFC, innit?
That's it. I can't lie to you. Statman Bays, I'm gonna say Nuruddin is coming for you when the transfer window closes. So that's all. I'm giving you heads up because he said when the transfer window finishes.
Listen, if we get Antony, you're gonna be the same guy dancing about though.
Yo, Statman, if he comes for you, what I think it is, I've got your back. Don't worry.
I'm relaxed.
All right, then. Listen, people, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Make sure you like the video, man. We've just given you an hour, pure content, opinions. You know what I mean? Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I think we're about 100 away from 54k. So if you can do that, people, make sure you subscribe to us. Make sure you go check out Charlie's channel. Link is in the description for him. Let's get him to 1,000 subscribers. I think you've got to pass over 600. So let's get him to 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you go follow Statman Baines. Make sure you go check out Devil in Details. All your latest stats and info. Go check him out on Twitter. And obviously, Trafford Tunnel, never a foul. We got man like Tyrone on the keys with that one.
You know what? Love every time, man. Just a quick one for Cass as well. Obviously, does the show with me and Saeed on Thursday. Cass is going live at 8:15. So if you literally subscribe to Trafford Tunnel after this, then you can watch Cass and the gang. But yeah, big up Saeed. Love every time. Love what you're doing. Love all the man them in here. And yeah, man, great show again, guys, man. Let's hope for the win tomorrow.
Yo,
big up, man. Big up.
I never a foul Trafford Tunnel. Man's got like 5 record deals, man. He's on Def Jam.
I'm gonna have to try and ask for Capstar sponsorship, man.
Yeah. Leicester City are on the verge of reaching a full agreement for Wesley Fofana.
How much? What's the final fee on that?
I don't know. They haven't said. They just said the bid. So it must have been 75 million then. The one that they bidded last time. So fair enough then. But listen, people, we're out. Take it easy. We're out. Take care.